as voted by WNBA players.
Caitlin Clark being ranked
the 9th best guard in the league.
Preposterous. Caitlin Clark is the 9th best guard.
Caitlin Clark has received a lot of praise, and as a result, she will thus get a lot of criticism.
She deserves that high ranking. She has put this league on the national map in ways it's never been.
They did it again. The WNBA players just ranked Caitlin Clark as the 9th best guard. Yes, 9th.
This is pure jealousy, and it goes back to what these WNBA players really don't want.
Despite her leading in assists,
Caitlin Clark didn't receive quite as much support. She finished 9th.
Transforming the Fever and carrying the league's viewership on her back. She's guarded like a superstar, but voted like a rookie, and fans aren't having it.
It's the CC effect. Fans aren't too happy. They see what's going on here. Unserious league.
If you believe this ranking is pure disrespect, comment 100% for Caitlin below.
There is some version of animosity based upon the love that Caitlin Clark is receiving by everybody else.
In reality, she is the best thing that's ever happened to this league.
Caitlin Clark is must-see TV.
Let's make one thing clear. We see what's really going on.
The way she came into the WNBA with all the hype, we hadn't seen this before.
Caitlin Clark is the one bringing all the media attention. Caitlin Clark is the one bringing all the young guys to the WNBA, people who are wanting to watch and tune into all these games. All the fans want to be just like Caitlin.
Let's get one thing straight. Ranking Caitlin Clark as the 9th best guard in the WNBA isn't just inaccurate, it's outrageous.
Caitlin Clark being ranked as the 9th best guard in the league by her peers is jealousy.
We're talking about a rookie who's first in assists, top 10 in scoring, and leads all guards in double-doubles, even after missing games.
Caitlin Clark has the most steals per game. She's the only player in the league to average 18, 8, and 5.
She's not some role player riding hype. Statistically, she's producing like a seasoned all-star. Now look at who's ranked above her. Natasha Cloud, who averages just 9.1 points per game, shoots under 29% from 3, and trails Clark in nearly every meaningful stat.
Natasha Cloud is averaging 9.1 points per game on 40% shooting and 28.3% from 3. 6.5 assists. So let's take a look at Caitlin Clark's numbers next to hers. So Caitlin Clark averages more points by double. She shoots 1% worse. She's shooting better from 3, even though she's been bad from 3. She grabs more rebounds. She has almost 2.5 more assists.
Even Brittany Sykes, another player listed ahead, doesn't touch Clark's assist numbers, shooting efficiency, or court impact.
Criticism is the cost of praise. And what you have to pay in order to receive praise is criticism. And Caitlin Clark has received a lot of praise, and as a result, she will thus get a lot of criticism.
This isn't even a debate.
They put Alicia Gray and Sabrina Ionescu above Caitlin Clark.
The numbers are black and white, and Clark's performance is loud and clear.
Player rankings when it comes to the All-Star ballot. They put Caitlin Clark number 9. This is absolutely egregious and downright disrespectful.
And let's not forget how teams treat her on the court. She's blitzed at half court, double-teamed constantly, guarded 94 feet like she's Steph Curry in a playoff game.
Who guard her like she's the prime Michael Jordan in the WNBA.
She's been extremely productive when she's out there, and she's guarded unlike anyone else in the league.
That's not how you defend the 9th best anything.
When you watch Caitlin Clark play the game of basketball, they don't treat her like she's the 9th best guard. They don't pick her up for full court like she's the 9th best guard.
That's how you treat a threat, a superstar.
And why don't they treat you like the 9th best guard? They don't.
They don't guard Caitlin Clark like she's the 9th best player. They don't treat Caitlin Clark like she's the 9th best player.
So how does this make sense? It doesn't. Her play says top 3, the vote says 9th.
Preposterous. Caitlin Clark is the 9th best guard.
And the gap between the two can only be explained by something deeper than stats.
Everybody has to agree she is a top 3 player in the WNBA if you actually have a basketball brain.
This isn't about skill, it's about sending a message. And that message is, we don't like how much attention you're getting.
Skylar Diggins and Natasha Cloud were also put above Caitlin Clark. Did you know their names before last year? Did you know their names before Caitlin Clark came to the WNBA?
But like it or not, Caitlin Clark has earned her spot.
Love begets hate. That's just the way the world works.
with her game, not her name.
To rank her as the 9th best guard leads me to believe it is either delusion or it is jealousy.
There's a reason Caitlin Clark is being treated like a superstar on the floor, but ranked like a bench player off it, and it's not basketball. The truth? This isn't about performance. It's jealousy.
Light bulb has to go off. Oh, they just don't like me.
It's envy.
There is some version of animosity based upon the love that Caitlin Clark is receiving by everybody else.
And it's a league struggling to handle a new face they didn't choose.
They've been crying for more money. They've been crying to get paid millions. They are mad at the fact that people are watching their league.
Let's call it what it is. The way Clark is defended, the double teams, the full court pressure, the physicality, the extra fouls after the whistle, tells you everything you need to know.
Caitlin is not having the greatest season so far. Of course, she had the quadriceps injury. She was out for a while. She's missed a number of games this year.
If players truly believe she was the 9th best guard, they wouldn't guard her like they're playing against Diana Taurasi in her prime. You don't game plan this hard for someone you don't fear, but they do fear her. They just won't admit it publicly. Because admitting it means acknowledging that Caitlin Clark, a rookie,
She proved as a rookie.
has become the most impactful player in the league. And that stings, not just because she's good, but because of how fast she got here. The spotlight followed her from Iowa, and the WNBA has never seen this level of attention.
Caitlin Clark is the reason why these arenas are getting packed. Caitlin Clark is the reason why people are buying WNBA merch. Caitlin Clark is the reason why these games are doing record number of viewers even while Caitlin Clark is sitting out.
For a female athlete walking in the door, her jersey sales exploded, viewership shattered records, and arenas started selling out. All before she even played her first game. That kind of stardom, it's rare. And to many in the league, it felt unearned. So instead of embracing her, some of her peers have decided to punish her. Some analysts called it hazing, but this goes deeper. In most leagues, hazing fades once a rookie proves they belong. Clark's already done that, leading all guards in assists, keeping the Fever competitive, making her teammates better.
You finished first in assists and 7th in points as a rookie?
And yet the resistance hasn't let up. Instead, she's still facing passive-aggressive shots from other players, coaches refusing to defend her publicly, and a rankings list that looks more like a political hit than a peer review. Now let's address the elephant in the room, race.
How much has race played a factor?
Jealousy is real.
Is that part of this story? Some believe so. Caitlin is a white woman in a league that's predominantly black.
We didn't want it this way. We don't want this straight white player to be bringing all the eyes to the WNBA.
She doesn't come from UConn or South Carolina, traditional pipelines into WNBA culture. She came from Iowa. She's not part of the inner circle. And while some want to avoid this topic, others are asking real questions. Would the treatment be different if she looked and acted more like her peers? If she had a louder personality? If she had deeper relationships with veteran players? Maybe, maybe not. But ignoring those questions doesn't make them go away. And there's another layer. Clark doesn't play the politics. She's not trying to fit in.
Does she need to try to fit in? Maybe I need to find a way to do more.
She's not showing up at every WNBA event or aligning with every cause.
She hasn't said anything but nice things about all these WNBA players. She's nothing but a nice player on and off the court. Now, yes, she does get chippy. Yes, she does talk trash on the court.
She's focused on ball. And in a league where relationships and alliances matter, that might be part of the backlash. She's not one of them, at least not yet. And that exclusion is showing up in these votes.
I'm done publicly coming to your girl's defense.
Still, no matter how many times they vote her down, the fans keep lifting her up.
There are fans out there online who say it's Fever versus everybody. And when they see this voting, it's only going to fuel that notion.
Clark leads all-star voting. She sells more jerseys than anyone. She's helped boost WNBA ticket sales, merch revenue, viewership, and media interest in ways the league has never seen.
When it comes to viewership, you guys continuously to say, oh, the WNBA was booming before Caitlin Clark got here. She just helped a little bit push it over the edge. No, the WNBA was not booming. Viewership was not on the rise.
And that's not just a fan crush. It's proof of value. So what happens when your performance demands respect? Your impact is undeniable.
Even when she came back and she wasn't playing all that well after the first couple of games, her presence alone helps the Indiana Fever win.
But your peers refuse to acknowledge it.
Expose the hating on Caitlin Clark. They don't want her here. They don't want her fans here.
You get ranked 9th. Not because you're 9th, but because they want to send a message. You don't belong here, yet. But here's the twist. Every time they try to diminish her, they only make her bigger. Every dig, every snub, every ranking that makes no sense becomes fuel. And Clark, she's using it. Quietly, professionally, and most importantly, on the court.
How come it has taken so long for the WNBA peers to adopt Caitlin Clark?
It's definitely not inhumane to wonder about her if she goes 1 for 23 when people have said she's the Steph Curry of the WNBA.
If the WNBA was truly about merit, consistency, and growing the game, Caitlin Clark would be the face of it without controversy. But what's happening instead is a masterclass in institutional hypocrisy.
You treating her like she is a Asia Wilson and a Breanna Stewart and those type players. That's how you guard her.
From players, from media, and from the league's own leadership, they're reaping the benefits of Caitlin's impact while simultaneously downplaying, undervaluing, and silencing her.
Where's Caitlin Clark? Why isn't she here? And why isn't she sticking up for you ladies and advocating on your behalf? And when the Players Association, when the people in that room hear that question, they're going to be looking at each other, confused, lost, and without an answer that doesn't make them look incredibly foolish.
Let's start with the numbers no one can argue. Since Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA, merchandise sales jumped 600%. All-Star voting surged 536%. WNBA draft viewership rose 320%. Arena sellouts increased by 242%. And overall attendance is up 54%.
Merchandise sales up 600%. All-Star voting up 536%. WNBA draft viewership up 320%. All-Star game viewers up 300%. Sellouts within arenas up 242%. And overall attendance up 54% since Caitlin Clark has joined the WNBA.
These aren't marginal bumps. These are seismic shifts. The kind of explosive growth the league has begged for year after year.
The 7 games without Caitlin Clark, her team averages 12 more points a game with Caitlin Clark on the basketball court.
Caitlin Clark exceeding what the top 30 players got just 2 years ago.
And the one common denominator? Caitlin Clark. Not some long-term marketing plan, not a collective campaign. One player, one name, one effect. The Clark effect. Yet despite this, her peers refuse to give her credit. Instead of applauding her influence, they vote her 9th.
We hadn't seen that from a female athlete. We hadn't seen that. They still trolling her. When you rank her 9th.
Instead of acknowledging her leadership on the floor, they nitpick her every move. Even her own teammate, Aaliyah Boston, also ranked 9th among frontcourt players, is being lumped into this strange pattern of undervaluing Indiana Fever players.
Leah Boston at number 9 as well. Both, they just don't like Indiana Fever players.
Coincidence? Not likely. And the contradictions only pile up. The coaches and media insiders who've quietly benefited from the league's rising profile still don't want to admit the obvious, that Caitlin Clark is the engine behind this moment.
Caitlin Clark is a top 5 player in the WNBA. How is she the 9th best guard? She's a top 5 player in the WNBA. And she showed that not just because her name on the back is Caitlin Clark, by the way she's played. Her team is way better with her on the court.
Instead, they play politics. Take Cheryl Reeve, for example. She's been one of the most vocal critics of Clark, downplaying her presence and pushing alternative narratives. And yet, she's now the All-Star game coach. And guess who she'll be coaching? Caitlin Clark. The irony writes itself.
Cheryl Reeve, the number 1 detractor.
This is the same All-Star game where Caitlin received the most fan votes in the entire league. Over 1.2 million.
Caitlin Clark, over 1.2 million fan votes. Nafisa Collier not too far behind with 1.1 million fan votes. Aaliyah Boston was close, less than 2,000 votes away from a Team Clark versus Team Boston.
And still, some are pretending like she's not deserving. They want to ride the wave of her popularity without giving her the surfboard. It's opportunism at its worst, using her name to boost league relevance while treating her like an outsider behind closed doors. Let's be honest. The WNBA wants the visibility Caitlyn brings. They want the sponsorships, the ticket sales, the national headlines, the viral clips, the broadcast deals, all of it. But they don't want to center her because they didn't choose her. She wasn't groomed by their system. She didn't come from a WNBA legacy college like UConn or South Carolina. She wasn't built by the machine. She was built by performance. And that disrupts the system. The veterans, many of whom have played for years without ever drawing this kind of attention, feel replaced. Not in skill, but in significance. And it shows.
I mean, obviously I'm going to try to get my teammates on my team. Why wouldn't I? That's obviously the goal. And, once they come out with whoever has made it and whoever hasn't, I guess I get to pick and choose. I don't really know how it works. I guess I just found out 2 hours ago, but obviously my first goal will certainly be able to have my teammates on my team. So
they say she hasn't earned it. But the question is, what more do you need to earn than literally transforming the entire trajectory of a league? Even the all-star format itself reeks of political gamesmanship. While Clark topped the fan vote, the player and media votes dropped her down.
Caitlin Clark, fan rank 1, media rank 3, player rank 9. That's a huge jump from just the media rank to the player rank.
Meanwhile, players like Natasha Cloud, who average single digits in points and have worse shooting percentages in every category, are being ranked above her. Kelsey Plum, 4th in the league in scoring, was ranked 16th. Make that make sense.
Fans vote for their faves. Do the media vote for their faves? Then just leave it as all fan.
It's not just misjudgment, it's sabotage in plain sight. These aren't rankings based on basketball. They're rankings based on emotion. They're a way for the league to send a message without saying it out loud. That message? You're not one of us. Stay in your place. The problem for them is, Caitlin Clark doesn't need their permission. She doesn't need their validation. And she's not going anywhere. Every time they try to undercut her, the fans show up louder. Every time they rank her lower, she plays harder. Every time they dismiss her value, the numbers say otherwise. It's a losing battle, and the league knows it. But instead of adapting and evolving, they're clinging to old dynamics, where hierarchy, not performance, determines your worth. And that's not just a disservice to Caitlin Clark. It's a disservice to the future of the WNBA.
Who else can make 9 points in 38 seconds? Not just 9 points, though. 9 points from straight logo bombs. That's probably never happened in the WNBA before. She had 25 points in the first half. Nobody in the league can do what she does when it comes to scoring, playmaking, IQ, all the things.
Here's the real hypocrisy. The same people who beg for viewership, sponsors, and respect are actively rejecting the very athlete who brought all three. It's a cultural contradiction the WNBA hasn't figured out how to resolve. And until they do, they'll keep undermining their own progress.
Caitlin Clark finished barely cracking the top 10 among her peers.
Caitlin Clark is a top 5 player in the WNBA. Put some respect on her name. Stop hating on the young lady. She's a baller. She has shown us that. That is why the eyeballs is tuned into the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark didn't ask to be the face of the WNBA. She earned it. Through her play, her poise, and her impact, she's done more in a few months than most do in a career.
She is by far the best player in the league. All the fans want to be just like Caitlin.
She's the biggest draw by far this league has ever had. She has put this league on the national map in ways it's never been.
And yet, instead of celebrating her, they ranked her 9th. That's not just disrespect. It's denial. But here's what they can't deny. The fans have spoken, the numbers don't lie, and the game doesn't care about politics. So keep doubting her, keep downplaying her, because every snub, every cheap shot, every fake ranking only fuels the legend. Caitlin Clark isn't just in the WNBA, she's redefining it.